All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome to today's Sunday Q&A. So for some reason, let me go live on my normal account, and I have to use my Facebook page account. So something's going on with my Facebook here. I'm trying to figure it out, but I had this issue. I know I think of the last live stream as well. So anyway, I hope everyone is having so far an awesome Sunday. So far, it's already nighttime here, but we had a few great questions come in earlier today, and then obviously, as usual, any questions or struggles that you guys are having, just drop them down below and we'll address those at the end of the live. So how is everyone's Sunday going so far? Who do we got live with me? We got Joseph, Corinna, Jack. What's going on? Anyone that is live, let me know down below. How's everyone's Sunday going? And then we'll give it a minute or so, and then we'll hop straight into the questions that came in earlier on the post, as well as obviously any questions or struggles that you guys are currently having in the program regarding training, nutrition, recovery, anything along those lines. So again, we'll give it about 30 seconds or so. It looks like all the comments I can only see on the desktop version and not the mobile version here, which is kind of weird. So not the most ideal thing here with the Facebook page. So anyway, I think we'll get started here in, let's give it another 20 seconds, and then we'll get going here. So who else we got live? If you guys are watching this, by the way, right now live with me, comment down below #live so I know who's tuning in. And if you guys are watching this on the replay afterwards, I always post the replay after the live. Comment down below #replay so I know who tuned in afterwards as well. Okay, so let's get started here. We got again a few great questions that came in. First one that I saw during the week is about training frequency and volume, right? Someone asked, training every single day, is it okay to do workouts every single day? And my answer, it really depends on mostly your experience level. If you're a beginner, intermediate, more advanced trainee, because I think one of the biggest issues that most beginners have is overtraining, right? It's definitely a real thing, and it can definitely hinder your progress if you are training too frequently for your body to actually adapt to that stimulus and recover and grow from all the tension and stress you're placing on your body by going to the gym. So it really depends on your experience level. Like I said, for me personally, my golden rule, and what I have basically for everyone in the community as well, as you'll notice in the app instructions about how to go about your workouts, is never do more than 3 in a row. Okay, the reason is I used to train like every single day myself when I started, and you probably notice this yourself as well when you do workouts every single day. You'll notice, like, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your workouts are really good, motivation's good, you're gonna pump in the gym, you feel strong, and then maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're not as motivated, the pump is not as good, you're not as strong, the workout intensity itself is not that good, maybe the mind-muscle connection is not as good, and that is because, again, those are all signals that you are overtraining. Your body's not being able to recover back to baseline before the next workout, right? So it is really, really important because that's essentially where all the progress happens, is during the actual recovery, during the sleep, and that's why you want to really place an emphasis on that and let your body recover. So again, those are kind of some of the cues that you need a rest day in between. So again, my golden rule is 3 on, 1 off with my current split. If you're only working out 4 days a week, again, maybe 2 on, 2 off, something like that. But I would never go more than 3 in a row. Kind of do a rest day after a maximum 3 days in a row. Okay, so that is kind of my answer with training every day. I wouldn't recommend it. Of course, cardio is totally different. You're more than welcome to do cardio or activities or sports. That's totally fine. Just weightlifting itself is obviously very strenuous on your CNS, your central nervous system, and obviously your body and the muscles you're training, so therefore it needs more time to recover. Okay, next one is, I just joined the community and loving it so far. Just had a quick question regarding supplements, which ones to take and which ones to avoid. So John, I'd actually recommend, I don't think he's on here right now, but I'd recommend anyone that hasn't already. I did a bunch last year on more specialized trainings about certain topics. I'll probably get back to doing that in the next coming weeks. But essentially, go into the topics in this group, and then on the right hand side, there will be a hashtag called live trainings, and in there is one specifically on supplements, and where I go in depth on which supplements I recommend, which ones to avoid, how to actually read and understand the ingredient labels and the nutrition labels on these supplements, because again, that is the most misleading part, where most people, they really take advantage of most people not being able to understand the labels, and so it's all at the end of the day kind of just falling into their marketing hype and their marketing trap, which most of the time is just complete bogus anyway. So again, John, I'd recommend going to the live training. There's a in-depth, if you want to really get a solid answer on that question, training on supplements, on pre-workouts, on everything. So go and check that out. My short answer in today in this live stream is the top supplement I'd recommend is creatine monohydrate. Super cheap. Doesn't really matter what brand you get it from because it's a single ingredient. I use mine off my protein, and again, you can get use my code Meister if you want a 45% off discount, pretty big discount there. But anyway, with creatine, it is the most researched supplement hands down on the market. It is proven, scientifically backed to actually support hypertrophy with recovery, with increased muscle endurance in the gym, which means you can do more sets, more reps, which leads to more volume, more intensity, which then leads to more gains in the gym, essentially, right? Not only is it amazing for your muscle and your hypertrophy and your actual fitness journey, but it's also really good cognitively for your brain, right? It has a lot of neuroprotective and neuroplasticity benefits, which I actually just learned about probably in the last couple of years. It is very, very good for not just physically, but also mentally and your overall brain health. So definitely recommend taking it. It's super easy to take. You don't have to cycle on and off. Just take 5 grams per day. And if you're just starting off, it'll take about 3 to 5 weeks to get fully saturated in the muscle itself. And I think one of the biggest myths that people have, misconceptions that people have, is they think it'll cause them to be bloated when they start taking creatine, which is absolutely not the case. How it works is creatine is actually stored as creatine phosphate in the muscle fibers themselves, not underneath the skin, right? So therefore, you're not going to get bloated because the water is not sitting under your skin. It's deep inside the muscle tissues themselves, which cause them to be fuller, rounder, and obviously that'll lead to better body composition overall. And again, when you're training performance in the gym, that is when that creatine phosphate stored in the muscle is being used as energy, and obviously will help with recovery. And that's why you're able to do more volume and a little bit more in terms of sets and reps, and you'll maybe even a little bit stronger in the gym. Be aware, it's nothing magical. It's not a steroid. It's nothing like crazy like that. It will boost your performance, I would say 5 to 10% on average. Again, there's nothing crazy, but you will definitely get a little bit of boost, and it's very good cognitively and mentally as well. So great question there. Next question I got is, I hate doing cardio on a treadmill, but I love going for walks outdoors. Can I switch my cardio to doing more of cardio outside? And absolutely you can. So you don't have to do cardio actually, first off, check out the cardio tab that I have in the cardio on the app there. So you don't have to do a certain form of cardio, right? You don't if you prefer one machine over the other, if you like elliptical versus Stairmaster or treadmill, you can do any form of cardio you want to do as long as you're consistent with it. That way you can raise the volume and frequency over time, over the weeks go on to kind of break any plateaus. Again, read the cardio tab in depth on exactly the approach I want you to take when starting to do cardio. Again, if you're in a fat loss phase. With that being said, a lot of people have said they prefer the walking outside. They don't like just doing the workout and then spending another 20, 30, 40 minutes in the gym on a treadmill. It's totally fine. I actually prefer doing sports or going for bike rides or going for walks myself. So typically I'll go for a long walk, listen to a podcast, listen to music, get some fresh air, go for a bike ride. I love playing tennis personally. So doing something like that, personally, I find more enjoyable, and it's much more sustainable because I'm having fun doing it. So it really depends on you. What I find, what really helps with if you hate doing cardio like in the gym on a treadmill is put your phone on do not disturb, do not check any notifications, emails, texts, social media during the workout itself. Then if you're doing cardio post-workout, which is what I recommend, let's say you're doing 20, 30 minutes of cardio post-workout, then once you're done the workout, once you're on the treadmill doing your cardio, then go on your phone, do the emails, notifications, social media, text, whatever. By the time, for me personally, by the time I go through all that, because I get a lot during my workouts, by the time I'm done going through all that stuff on my phone and catching up, I'm already 20 minutes into my cardio sessions, almost over, right? So that's one of my tactics. It makes the cardio just fly by. I'm not even really thinking about doing cardio, and I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone by doing the cardio as well, obviously, as all the notifications and emails and stuff on my phone. Okay, so great question there. Again, to kind of round off that answer, if you want to do go for walks, bike rides, do sports. If you want to do, you don't have to do a certain type of cardio if you don't want to. My approach and my kind of tip for that is do whatever you enjoy doing the most, because that's obviously the most sustainable long term, and you'll have the most fun doing it, right? So that is the 3 questions that came in earlier today. Again, for some reason, I'm doing this off my page right now, so I cannot see the comments on my Facebook page on here on the mobile. So I'm gonna load the comments here on the desktop. If you guys have any questions, struggles, anything like that on training, nutrition, recovery, anything with your fitness goals right now that you wanna ask about, now is the chance. Drop them down below and let's go over those right now, okay? Mario just gifted me 50 stars. So I guess this is a new feature that where you can do stars on live stream, which is really cool. So I was just able to turn this on recently. So I guess now I can go live and people can gift me stars. So Mario, thank you for doing that. I guess you're the first person to donate stars, which is really cool. So really, again, I appreciate that, Mario. His question is, do you suggest fasting with any of your programs? So this is a good question, a loaded question, because I have a few different responses to this. In terms of strictly fat loss, there's no benefit to doing fasting versus not doing fasting, okay? At the end of the day, it's all about calories in versus calories out, and the quality of those calories is what will help you with satiation and being able to stick to that calorie deficit. What I mean by that is, if you fast and you're eating 2,000 calories a day, it will make zero difference if you don't fast and still eat 2,000 calories a day, right? You're still having the exact same energy input into your body. So it doesn't matter the timing of meals, doesn't matter if you're fasting, so on and so forth. So in a purely fat loss lens, it makes zero difference whether you fast or don't fast. However, with that being said, if you struggle with cravings, with hunger, with staying in a calorie deficit overall, then it can be used as a tool to benefit you to actually stay in that calorie deficit, again, which is what is needed to actually lose the body fat. So I would recommend, again, if you're struggling staying in that calorie deficit, you get hungry really fast, then I would recommend it, because for me personally and a lot of clients, once you have that first meal of the day, that's kind of like when the floodgates open and you get a spike in insulin, the first kind of spike in insulin, and that's what causes you to be more hungry faster or other cravings. So my recommendation, again, if you're struggling, then yes, utilize fasting. You don't have to do a certain amount, like 16/8 or whatever, a certain amount of hours. I kind of do until you get hungry. And if you do go with the fasting route, I would suggest waking up, do not have coffee first thing in the morning. A lot of people make this mistake by having coffee like literally within waking minutes of the day. And I would not recommend this. Andrew Huberman talks about this in depth and has all like the actual science behind this. But essentially the reason you want to delay caffeine is because when you wake up is when your cortisol levels, your stress hormones are at its absolute peak throughout the day. Unless you're having crazy like work days or whatever. But typically on a normal day, that is when your cortisol, your stress hormones are elevated, and that is what's naturally waking you from your sleep, right? If you add caffeine to the mix, now it's like all over, kind of almost like an overload for your body, and a lot of times you kind of crash a little bit after having a coffee, maybe an hour or 2 hours later. So a tip with this is first hour of the day, just have water, because you're dehydrated, you haven't had water in the last 8, 10, 12 hours of the day. Then after 60 to 90 minutes of waking, then have a coffee, and you'll notice you'll have a way more sustained energy kind of throughout that morning without being hungry and resorting to food right away. So this makes a massive difference. I've been doing this now for the last 6 months. I promise you it's made a huge difference. And if you're someone that has coffee immediately within like 5-10 minutes of waking, try this method, and I promise you'll have like a more sustained, longer energy kind of burst in the morning without needing breakfast, without needing food necessarily. The last point I want to make about fasting here is cognitively, you are much sharper, especially for me. I do all my deep work in the morning. I'm a lot more focused. I'm a lot sharper when I don't have food in my system, which is why I like to fast. Okay, I don't use fasting in any way for fat loss or any like physical benefits. I use it purely for mental benefits because again, I'm much more focused, I'm much more cognitively aware and sharp when I do not have food in my system, okay? Why? The reason is because when you have a big meal, when you have food in your system, obviously digestion takes a lot of energy, and when you're doing deep work, when you have a big meal, your energy kind of gets diverted into your brain, obviously you're utilizing your brain for work, and as well as your stomach to actually digest that food, right? When you're just doing work, all your energy is being used by your brain and not being used to digest the food. So again, digestion takes a lot of energy, and so when you have that first meal of the day, then that's why you're not as cognitively sharp, because then kind of your energy gets kind of diverged into those different processes. So that's for me why I love fasting, because I'm way sharper mentally and just cognitively, I get much clearer and way more focused when I'm fasting. So great question there. Who asked that? Mario. So great question there, Mario. Hopefully that answered that in depth. If you have more questions, drop them down below regarding fasting. Next one we got is from Corinna. Corinna asked, I'm going to be transitioning from walking to rowing as my primary cardio workout. It appears it will be a lot more challenging, though thankfully lower impact. Any thoughts on tips or tips for this? Absolutely. So because rowing is such drastically different than doing like treadmill, Stairmaster, bike, elliptical, stuff like that, I would go based off the calories. If you are using any sort of smartwatch, that would be the most ideal method. Apple Watch, Fitbit, doesn't really matter. Of course, the calories that it tracks will not be 100% accurate, but the most important thing with this is the consistency of it. So if you're doing rowing every single day, then you can kind of base off, let's say week 1, you're burning 100 calories rowing and you plateau, then maybe in week 2, you're gonna do 125 or 150 calories, right? So slowly over time, again, by utilizing the strategy I go over in the cardio section of the app, by utilizing that strategy, then you can kind of use the calories versus just duration, because again, 10 minutes of rowing is much harder than doing 30 minutes or 10 minutes of walking or elliptical or biking, right? So that's my tip for that is make sure you're consistent and go off the calories versus the duration. Next question we got is Chris Ricketts asks, how can I continue to be consistent on both of my nutrition and my workouts? So Chris, if you want to add to that question, like exactly what do you mean by that? In terms of it, I'm guessing you're meaning maybe you're not as motivated or just the accountability is not there. So I would suggest 2 things. One, for the training itself, I think the biggest tip I can give here is a lot of people will go in the gym and just have zero motivation. Like they don't want to be there. They're just like already thinking of when the workout's done, what they're doing later that night. And so my suggestion is really utilizing that warm-up time, 5, 7, max 10 minutes, to really dial in and focus on the workout, okay? So it's not just about warming up your body. Of course, that's primarily why we're doing a warm-up, to prevent injury, to get blood flow going, to warm up for the actual workout ahead so you're much stronger. But also utilize that time, again, put on Do Not Disturb. I promise you this is the biggest thing that will help massively, just getting mentally locked in. First off, when you walk in the gym, put on Do Not Disturb, then do 5, 7, 10 minutes of warm up, get your body ready, but also utilize that time, put your music in, get focused, think of the workout ahead, maybe look through what you're about to do, sip on your pre-workout if you're having some, or your water, whatever, and then spend that 5, 7 minutes thinking of what you're about to do in the workout, and then by the time you're done the warm up, your body's ready to go, but mentally as well. You'll be way more zoned in, dialed in, and you'll be able to push yourself and actually focus focus on the workout way more. And now once you kind of get over that first or second exercise, when the pump comes in, you'll be really motivated because you'll see you're having good workouts, the kind of endorphins are released in your brain, and everything will go much smoother from there. So that is my biggest tip in terms of the training. And I promise you, this makes you, especially with the Do Not Disturb, so many people go into the gym and just like continually doing whatever they're doing with emails, notifications, social media, and they'll be so distracted with their phone that they have no idea, like not even focusing on the workouts themselves. And then of course it's gonna be much harder to have a good workout because your mind is elsewhere. Okay, so that's the biggest thing with consistency and motivation in the gym for the training. So good question there, Chris. I'm gonna refresh this again. Any other questions that came in, drop them down below now. So good questions by the way, guys. So this is weird. I can only see a few comments at a time. Claudia, what's going on? Jeb. So hopefully I got all the questions. So again, guys, I'm using my Facebook page. For some reason, since moving here to Dubai, I cannot use my Facebook profile, which is like what I'm posting on regular for all the other posts in the community to go live. They're kind of blocking me from doing that. So I'm trying to work out with Facebook with exactly what's going on there. Any other questions, guys, drop them down below. Otherwise, we will end it here. And then, of course, we'll do another live stream every single week with any struggles or questions that you guys have. So I'm going to refresh this one more time. If not, then we'll end it here, and then we'll pick up next week. Any last minute questions, guys? Now is your time. Drop them down below. Also, really good job. We have 2 weeks left of the 8-week challenge, and I've seen a lot of progress from getting the updates on the back end with the progress photos as well, obviously, as the PRs that are coming in. So I think January was the most PRs we've ever had logged with the congratulations screen on the app, which is phenomenal. So it's going to be tough to pick a winner, but so many of you guys are doing a really, really good job with the 8-week challenge. So I'm super, super stoked to see the before and afters and see everyone's strength progress and overall progress in 2 weeks time. So finish off strong, guys. We got 2 weeks left. I know now it may be a time where it's hardest because you're 6 weeks in, maybe the motivation's not as high, but you're almost there. Keep pushing. I promise you, this is not just about the prizes, but obviously kind of to doing it for yourself and putting yourself in a good kind of state of mind and routine to continue the gains or if you're already at the goals you want, maintaining those results. So 2 weeks left, guys. Push hard. Finish off strong, and then we got some crazy prizes to give away for the top 3 winners there. So I'm going to refresh this one last time. Any other questions? Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. I think that is it. Hopefully I didn't miss any questions. I know last week I missed quite a few because, again, I can't see. All the comments aren't loading on the mobile version when I go live here. So hopefully I got all of them. If I missed any, I will go back and comment the responses. But anyway, guys, have an awesome rest of your Sunday. If there's anything else that you missed or you want to send me a direct question, more personal question, just shoot me a DM, and then I'd be more than happy to help from there. So anyone that's watching this on the replay, comment down below #replay so I know who tuned in, and then we'll catch you guys here all next week. Let's crush it next week. We got 2 weeks left in the 8-week challenge. Hit some more PRs, make some more progress, and I'll see you here all next week. Ciao.